Greetings and welcome back to Doctor Who Revisited, where I go through every single episode of Doctor Who from 1963 all the way to 2025 and review them. And now we are on to Full Circle, the first of the, what some may call it, the E-Space trilogy of the fourth Doctor era, the final season. And I'll just say this, not the strongest episode in this trilogy. First of all, I mean, let's just start off with the basics. After the previous episode, Meglos, the Doctor and Romana were called back to Gallifrey. We don't know why. It's revealed in this episode that Romana fears, probably rightfully so, that the Time Lords want her back on Gallifrey. Curiously, they're still fine with the Doctor running around the universe doing whatever he does. They just want Romana to be there. And Romana is extremely upset about this. She doesn't like it. We get to see Romana's room for the first time, which is interesting. I always love it. I keep saying this. I love when we get to see more of the TARDIS. And we do see Romana's room quite a lot in this episode, which is great. And I mean, design-wise, I mean, it's a very nice looking room. I can see why she wanted to spend some time there when she was all upset about having to go back to Gallifrey. I mean, just look at it. The furniture, a lot of the knickknacks. I mean, it's a really, really nice looking room. So yeah, I wish we get to see more of the characters' rooms in the TARDIS. We do get to see a bit of it during the upcoming season. A bit more of it. We get to see a bit more of the TARDIS and the different rooms in the TARDIS. So that's something I'm very looking forward to revisiting. But yeah, very nice room for Romana. But then, on their way back to Gallifrey, they go through this mysterious, I can't remember what it's, CVE, I believe they called it. But what those letters actually stand for, I can't remember exactly what the acronym stands for. But basically, it's an incredibly rare occurrence in the universe that actually transports the TARDIS mid-flight from where it was in normal space, in space, to exospace, or E-space, where everything's kind of backwards and upside down-ish, or negative, as they put it in the episode. So essentially, they do land on Gallifrey, just not in the right universe. Apparently, in that upside down universe, I should say, where Gallifrey should be, is the planet Alzarius, which the Doctor and Romana are quick to notice looks absolutely nothing like Gallifrey. But throughout the episode, the TARDIS still believes that they are on Gallifrey. That's why it's displaying the images of where they're allegedly supposed to be, as if it was on Gallifrey as opposed to that planet that they landed on. And let me just say, the planet Alzarius looks amazing. I really love the look of the planet. They really chose a wonderful shooting location to film this episode, and this episode was shot mostly on location, at least the majority of the external scenes. But even more so, I do like some of the way the inhabitants of the planet Alzarius look like, the Alzarians, as they're called. I do love their costumes, and I love how essentially all the regular citizens basically have more or less identical attire. But then, though, the sort of outsiders, I can't remember what they were called in the episode, but those little kids that sort of deviated from the path and, decided to form their own little gang of misfits. They're all wearing completely different clothes with different colors, signifying their different personalities, and I like that. I mean, I think I said that about the previous episode, about the way the Gaztecs, I believe they're called, the way they were dressed and the way they looked, that's character building. I can't remember which episode I said this about, and it bothers me. But like, I mean, you can really the clothes tell a lot about the person wearing them in the episode, which is clearly on full display on this episode, and with the new character, Adric. I mean, a lot about what Adric is wearing, and I know he's a very unpopular character. I know he's a very unpopular companion character, But let's just talk a little bit about his costume for a bit. I as much as the character itself can be controversial, and I agree. The costume, I think, looks really great. I mean, it looks in the colors of the regular citizens of Alzarius, like an ordinary one of one of the pack. I think they called him an elite at certain parts of the episode. But then he's got that badge of mathematical excellence, which is on a reddish square, already signifying that he's slightly above the rest. And he's wearing that little belt thing. I can't remember what they call it. Arabash, I think they call it in the episode, as to commemorate his brother who died at the end of this episode. So yeah, you may hate the character, but I think the costume tells a lot about the guy's personality and the things he's been through. And curiously, he hardly ever comes out of that costume. So yeah, that story is there. He carries it with him in all the episodes he appears in, and at least that, I think, is kind of admirable. So yeah, I do like that part of Adric's character. Now, as for the really controversial bits about the character, I mean, you do see seeds of it in this episode where he thinks he's better than the rest because he knows a little bit of math, and he thinks he can do things better, and he's got this very nonchalant feel about him. But you gotta admit, for the majority of this episode, he does actually serve a pretty good purpose. I mean, he's still got this cockiness to him, but he does try to help the Doctor, and it really is. You can see it on his face. He's really sorry when he leads his brother and his gang into the TARDIS. And he does actually try to help by attacking the guy who's got the knife to Romana's throat, and actually essentially saves Romana. And this is another thing I love about Romana. I keep saying this. Romana does not do damsel in distress. Even though she's being forced at knife point to take them away in the TARDIS, as soon as Adric gets the drop on one of them, causes him to drop the knife, and Romana immediately picks it up, points it at him, and just goes, "Here, your knife," and just casually walks away as if that was nothing. I love that about Romana. That's great. So yeah, and I think Romana and Adric do kind of get on good terms right from the start. And for the majority of the episode, you do kind of get this this nice sense of mentor and pupil dynamic with the Doctor, something that he kind of had with Romana, but Romana being a time lady, and as we know from her first appearance, a time lady that actually outclassed the Doctor in some aspects of the Time Lord Academy on Gallifrey, she was more so of an equal to the Doctor. That's why they got along so well, and they had this great dynamic. But the dynamic between the Doctor and Adric is slightly different. Obviously, Adric is slightly smarter than the average companion, but for the most part, it's really just the Doctor showing him around, teaching him stuff, and that's really what the fourth Doctor excels at. He's teaching. He's not just there to take the companion around and show them the universe. He's a teacher. He teaches Leela how to be civilized, and he teaches her art and sciences. He teaches Sarah Jane and Harry, and as well as Romana, he teaches Romana stuff about the universe, the kind of stuff that you wouldn't learn on Gallifrey, and that's really what he does with Adric. That's why I think, on paper at least, Adric was a really good idea for a companion. Execution-wise, well, we're gonna get to see plenty of that in the next episode, so no reason to talk about that for the moment. As for the rest of the episode, I do think that the Starliner externally looks really cool. I love the design of it. On the inside, it kind of looks like, your generic Doctor Who spaceship filled with many similar-looking corridors. I do love the book room. The book room looks exciting and interesting, but it kind of falls into that same trap of that a lot of classic Doctor Who episodes do fall into, which is it's an alien world, potentially in the future, and yet some of the more simple stuff, like the books and the binders, and even some of the scientific equipment in the science wing, the lab, whatever they call it, it looks way too similar to stuff you find on Earth, which is kind of unfortunate. It's only until the modern series where they actually start to think beyond that. It's like alien cultures have alien-looking computers. Who would have thought? By the way, speaking of the science wing, the science department, whatever it's called, did you ever notice that it's essentially a laboratory and the guy running it is called Dexter? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. No need to read too much into it. It's just a funny thing I noticed. As for the deciders, they're stupid, and I mean they are morons, and these are the guys running this community. Like I don't even know why they even call them deciders in the first place, when all they do is the opposite of deciding. Like they're procrastinating. They should have been called the procrastinators. They deliberate. They argue amongst themselves. They are the worst types of people to lead this community. Even from the first one, Draith, I think the guy's name, the guy that gets killed in episode 1. Like, he seems probably the most competent out of the 4 deciders we do see in this episode, and even he kind of decides not to do anything until his final words. Tell Dexter we've hit full circle. We've come full circle, which I guess ties into the episode's title, which in and of itself is kind of an interesting concept for a Doctor Who episode. It's like these guys who think they escaped from another planet and to colonize this world, and 50 years later they now have to leave the planet to go back to where they came from, only to realize that no, they never actually came from that other planet. It was they originated from this planet. So essentially full circle. And going even further, the fact that they live on the same planet as essentially their ancestors, who are the Marshmen, and their ancestors, the spiders, they're all essentially the same species. It's like, imagine, it'd be like if humans on Earth existed alongside primates or Neanderthals or Homo erectus, alongside, say, Dimetrodons. So it's kind of like if humans lived with their genetic ancestors on Earth all at the same time.
One passes continually through the same points in time. Passes through the same... Yes.
Weird concept, but I guess that's something that is possible in E-space, or whatever it is. But talking about the Marshmen, I think the Marshmen look really cool. Maybe not cool, but I mean, it's a really good costume design. I keep praising the production design of this season, and the costume design, huge step up from previous seasons. So yeah, the Marshmen look really cool and interesting, and it's a really... I love the effect of the makeup on Romana's face. You know, when she gets bitten by the spider, she's got these weird lines on her face that glow. That's a really cool effect. I really love that. The spiders look interesting. I mean, they do definitely look significantly different to Earth spiders. Like, they got 2 glowing eyes at the front. And I guess they have 8 eyes, just like Earth spiders. Just, the 2 main ones at the front, and like 6 on the back, which I guess they kind of look like eyes. But it's nice. I mean, it's nice that they don't look like your typical Earth spiders, and not because of their size, but because of just I think they're a really cool design. It's a very scary moment where they just pop out of the river fruits like that. I mean, kind of makes you think of how many insects have laid eggs in the fruits that you've been eating. So yeah, very scary thought right there. But yeah, like I said, lots of cool props, lots of cool concepts. But I think a lot of the time this episode kind of falls flat, mainly because of how stupid the people are in this community, which I guess is kind of the point. They had all their hopes on these three morons who did not know how to lead, and that's why the rest of the community is ignorant as they are about their own species, no less, about their own heritage, their own history. And I think I really just really just laughed out loud when the first decider, whatever his name is, Needrith, I think, when he just said, "There's the secret that has been kept from us for centuries, the secret that no one has ever known. Nobody knows how to pilot this ship." No wonder you guys never got anywhere. It's just this episode is ridiculous on so many different levels, and even the Doctor acknowledges how stupid these people are at times. But yeah, hey, it is what it is. I mean, I guess it's the episode that needs to exist to get us to the point of realizing that the Doctor and Romana and K9 and the TARDIS are now trapped in E-space, and they have to find a way to get back home. One final thing I just remembered. First of all, it's cool. It's a cool concept that Alzarians basically heal faster than normal, which is being exemplified in Adric. You know, he gets injured very early on, and then his knee heals in a matter of minutes, and that right there is tied to the evolution and development of the people on the planet. That's cool. And Adric's accelerated healing factor is going to be utilized in a bunch of different ways in the upcoming episodes where he features in as a full-time companion. Even though in this episode he's kind of a one-off companion, only to be revealed to be a stowaway companion in the next episode. So yeah, I think I'm just gonna stop wasting your time and wrap up this review so we can get to the next one. It's an okay episode. A step down from the previous one, but I think some of the other episodes really do go up significantly after this one. Anywho, these have been my thoughts regarding Full Circle. Let me know what you all thought about them, and until the next one, everybody, just remember never to eat fruits with spider eggs in them. Goodbye. Hello again. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to subscribe, hit that like button, and leave a comment. See you next time.